very scientific facts and theories from the field of psychology and child development, basic stuff I teach my students who are training to be counselors or psychologists. I draw from the empirical literature. I explain attachment categorizations and how these help us to understand this particular little girl's behavior or that particular boy's relationship with his mother. I give my opinion to judges who lean forward and show respect. So maybe I am to blame, or more accurately, responsible for the outcome. What's there is there, though, sometimes leaving little to interpretation. I try to report on what's there between a mother and a child, between the parents I evaluate and their children. I do this primarily through observations, but I use other pieces of evidence as well before making my recommendations. When I perform an evaluation, I read through a pile of previously written reports, including ones by other psychologists. There can be many reports before mine. Sometimes a different psychologist provides an evaluation, one to determine the mental health of each parent, another to evaluate the developmental trauma of a child, another, typically from a school psychologist, to provide the academic, social, and psychological workup. There are also DCF case plans and case dispositions, formal reports that monitor progress. There are documents that show the merit of removing a child via a CHINS, a Child in Need of Services order. There are copious handwritten notes of visit supervisors. There are social worker affidavits, which are long lists of purported facts written in such simple, nondescriptive language that they beg to be prioritized as truth over the complex narratives in case plans. There are police affidavits. The facts are formally dressed with times and dates, as if to say that numbers remembered and inserted are truer than the noting of a comforting hand on the child's shoulder, or the gaze of the child towards his mother. They go like this. Jane Doe was arrested at 10:38 p.m. on August 4, 2001, for attempting to rob a 7-Eleven with a .44 Magnum revolver, having left the lap center at 5:45 p.m., taking the number 33 bus. There are also written documents of phone conversations with therapists, physicians, pediatricians, teachers, superintendents, family interventionists, substance abuse counselors, probation officers, parenting program teachers, AA sponsors, co-workers, neighbors, and family members. There are personality tests that I have given, scored, and interpreted, including the controversial Rorschach, the inkblot test, which I have come to rely on to tell me about things I can't determine from the 567 true-false items pushed and shaped into diagnoses in the commonly used personality test, the MMPI-2. There are also notes from interviews. I play with children in the sandbox in my office as part of the child interview, noting the child who comes into my office fascinated by the wealth of toys, as well as the child who finds nothing suitable to play with. Everything's broken here. In interviews with parents, I take their histories, gaining their trust, momentarily empathizing with their mostly unfortunate lives, damaging relationships, and generational problems that go so far back as to make me feel that there was never any hope for this family. Observations, though, are key. I enter the houses of parents, both foster parents and biological parents, and sit in a corner taking notes. "Don't mind me," I say. The adults are gracious. They offer me coffee or tea, and sometimes even dinner. They are wary and welcoming. I've heard their stories earlier in my office and have kind words for them, and so we have forged some kind of tentative bond. I am a kind person, someone recently told me, after I had said to this person that I was often taken as abrupt and irritable. I may not be kind, but I am definitely kindest in my therapy office, where I become wrapped up in the mothers' childhoods and histories of mistreatment. Sitting across from me, they are children again, who want to be heard and have a mother mirror their worth. When they are no longer in my office,